Well, that was a royal backfire. The utter opposite of what I predicted. The Titans did not win a great, dramatic, exciting, close game, 31 to 24. Instead, they lost a laugher, an embarrassment, an abomination. The Colts made the statement, steamrolling them 38 to 10. Mariota, he didn't throw for one touchdown, he threw for zero. Mariota didn't run for one touchdown, he ran for zero. Henry didn't run for one touchdown, he ran for zero. Lewis didn't run for one touchdown, he ran for zero. Titans defense wasn't going to get a chance to having to defend this lead late because it was made an embarrassment early in the first half and continued to be awful in the second half. So the whole Titans defense going to get a chance to defend, having to defend late a lead. Didn't happen at all because Colts got the lead. They ended up scoring first, getting the lead. A lead to go fast. Also, as far as the Titans winning time of possession, they didn't win time of possession. Mariota, Titans moving the ball and mostly winning time of possession with Mariota throwing the ball and running when needed. He was highly contained, so that also didn't happen. And Henry and Lewis being a Titanic too, they were also highly contained. They didn't run for over 130 yards and didn't even come close to combining for didn't get close to combining for 130 yards. Both Lewis and Henry were highly contained, and so they weren't the Titanic 2 for this game like I predicted. They also this was not a great dramatic close game at all because the Colts scored first and they continued to score 24 points. They scored most of their points in the first half, making it a joke and an embarrassment. And then when the Titans finally did score to end the shutout, it was really late in the first half to make it 24 to 3. So the Colts scored the exact amount of points I predicted them to have, with the Titans winning 31 to 24 in the first half. They scored that, and they exceeded the 24 points that predicted them to score. And the Titans were they were 21 points off of what I predicted them to score, so hugely wrong with how many points I'd have the Titans score. And also hugely wrong with highly wrong with what I had the Colts score, because they scored 14 more than what I predicted them to score. And also, Colts continued for an offensive onslaught after it looked like the Titans defense was going to that they were going to be effective. That first drive was just a mirage, because then the Colts would end up scoring after the Titans defense looked like they were going to be effective to contain Luck and the Colts after that Colts first drive. And the Titans didn't make the statement, winning a great dramatic close game 31-24. Instead, the Colts made the big statement, great statement, by steamrolling the Titans 38 to 10 in a all too easy, no sweat, undramatic game. They won 38 to 10 in a game that got as awful as 24-zip and 38 to 3. And also, along with the fact that this game was made a joke in the first half, along with continued to be an embarrassment in the second half, Colts were able to start using their second-string quarterback early in the fourth quarter. That's how awful this game was and undramatic. And obviously the Titans didn't finally end that lead and finally defeat Luck, because Luck and the Colts made this a joke and embarrassment early in the first half, and it just became worse in the second half. Titans defense wasn't even close to getting that one interception I predicted them to have, and Titans never, and this was history repeating itself because once again, after the Titans had that great win against the Eagles, and then they stink versus the Bills. And this time, once again, the Titans defeat a team they weren't expected to defeat, the Patriots, again at home, and then they go on the road. They play a team that's no doubt better than the Bills, a team that might be pretty good, might be great or pretty good, the Colts, and the Colts steamroll the Titans 38-10. So in many ways, it was like a replay of that Bills game, but in other ways, it was worse because because the Bills steamrolled the Titans 38-10, and they scored most of their points in the first half, 24 to be exact, of their 38 points. This game was never dramatic, competitive, or close. The only time it was close is when it was tied 0-0, and that disappeared early in the first. That disappeared early in the first half because once the Colts scored their first points, they continued to score. They were the offensive onslaught. The Titans' defense couldn't contain. Colts completely outplayed them this entire game. Obviously outscored them, and they beat them always offense, defense, special teams, but undeniably hugely offense because outscored them 38-10, and most of their most of the Titans' points came in garbage time when the game was already a joke and an embarrassment. So yeah, my prediction was hugely and utterly long, a colossal backfire. The Titans don't finally make that statement with ending the undefeated streak against Luck. Luck continues to own the Titans, continues to remain perfect versus the Titans. So yeah, I am hugely disappointed that the Titans once again continue to have that Bush League performance, that classic letdown after a great win, defeating a team that they weren't expected to defeat. And it's a big loss for the Titans because the Texans end up winning a close, dramatic game, decent close, dramatic game, because the Skins end up missing a game-winning field goal. So now the Titans have dropped down to 2 games, and the Colts have moved. I think it's into second place, while the Titans have dropped to third place, and now they're 2 games behind the Texans, and they only have 1 game left with the Texans, and they play the Texans on the road. So this is a big loss for the Titans, not catastrophic, but still a big loss because now they dropped 2 games behind the Texans. Their Texans now have 2-game lead, and the Colts now, by virtue of this game, have the tiebreaker versus the Titans, a Colts team that has been playing great for their win streak. And I'm astounded that even if the Titans had lost this game, that they would at least make it decent and watchable, but this game wasn't decent and watchable at all. So yeah, an extreme disappointment for the Titans that moved far forward with the win versus the Patriots, 2-game winning streak, and now they just moved 100 yards back, 100 steps back with this embarrassment, this abysmal loss, this awful loss that it really seemed like it was deja vu because the Titans did get steamrolled by the Texans last season, which was also in Houston, and then again, this time the Titans first time they play the Colts was in Indy, and they also get steamrolled by the Colts. And so in many ways, this really seemed like a replay or deja vu of the game when the Texans steamrolled the Titans in Houston last season. So yeah, Colts, hats off. Tip my hat to the Colts because they utterly proved me wrong, and Colts utterly outplayed the Titans, winning 38-10 in a game that became a joke in the first half, became abysmal in the second half, and completely outplayed the Titans for the entire game, winning easily, all too easy, 38-10. The curse of luck has not been removed. The Titans are going to have to wait for the rematch in Nashville to end the curse of luck, assuming that the Colts have something to play for in that game and haven't clinched a playoff spot and can't move up higher in the playoff seeding or something of that nature.